Chancellor Mr. Robert Bermudez, Vice Chancellor Professor Sir Hilary Beckles, Chair Campus Council Ms. Sharon Christopher, Pro Vice Chancellor and Campus Principal Professor Brian Copeland, honorary graduates, university executives and other members of staff, fellow graduates, distinguished guests, good day. It is a fundamental truth that we must make mistakes in order to succeed. If it weren't for the mistakes I made in my life, I would not be here delivering this message to you. All of my transgressions and bad decisions, coupled with the good ones, and under the direction of God, have brought me to this moment. I remember in my darkest hour, my mother said to me with the utmost confidence, "Son, you will have your time to shine." Class of 2020, your journey to this moment was not an easy one. Some of us may have failed a course or two or three, and we had no choice but to restart and try again. Well, the next phase of our lives is expected to be no different. Mistakes, failures, and disappointments are inevitable, but what we do afterwards is what truly matters. According to Brutus and Julius Caesar, there is a tide in the affairs of men, which, taken at the flood, leads on to fortune. This quote is a very powerful metaphor, telling us that we must seize the opportunities when they come, and not look back at those that we will have missed. The University of the West Indies has provided us with the training, and God has given us the talents to give back not to ourselves, but to our community, nation, and by extension, generations to come. A few days ago, I was having a conversation with a contractor who boasted about all of the government contracts he has procured to erect public housing. Boy, and asked the principal what he or she needed to improve the environment for the next generation. Well, I hope that my question stirred some introspection into that gentleman's life. The point I'm trying to make is that our skills should not be used to benefit us, but instead to help develop our nation. Graduates, your success to come should not be about you. It should be about improving the lives of others who are not as fortunate, but possess the same potential to be successful. I recall a central doctrine in our Caribbean civilization course, that we continue to suffer from an acute deficit in genuine leadership. Leadership is not about following. Instead, it requires courage. The courage to stand up against the perpetual mistakes and flaws in governance that have resulted in the current social unrest in our nation. Class of 2020, we are now all leaders in our own right, and may God provide us with the courage to implement changes that will steer our country into a future defined by equality and a less stratified society. If many years from now, our economy is still not diversified, then we will have failed. If many years from now, our brightest still continue to migrate and develop other nations, then we will have failed. If many years from now, our country still continues to import the majority of its food, then we will have failed. Class of 2020, let us hold ourselves responsible for the fate of our nation and our Caribbean. There is a conservation biologist amongst us who will save a species of plant that will hold the key to reversing Alzheimer's disease. Will that person be you? There is an environmentalist amongst us who will find a way to save our coral reefs. Will that person be you? There is an agriculturalist amongst us who will invent a cultivar of rice containing all of the essential amino acids. Ask yourself, will that person be me? Eventually, we all revert to our physical fundamental elements. At your funeral, nobody will talk about the size of home you lived in or the type of cars you owned. They will talk about the impact you had on their lives and what you did to change the world. It's a beautiful paradox, isn't it? Only when that sepulchral transition arrives do we fully understand how we should have lived. I would like to share with you a quote from one of my most favorite poems, The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. It says, "Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference." Graduates, in your journey of life, I recommend that you take the road less traveled. Many, many years from now, sitting in your hammock with the golden sun at dusk smiling over your back, and every wrinkle on your beautiful face representing a triumph in your life, may you bask in peace and contentment, knowing that your shortcomings, transgressions, and victories were all worth it, and that your brave and selfless actions in life will resonate forever into the future of our nation. May God bless the class of 2020, the University of the West Indies, and future graduates. Thank you.